I was talking to someone recently, and you know how they came to Islam? Someone had been making dawah to them for a long time. And they were sitting in their living room and the Buddha fell off the shelf and hit them on the head. And it broke. This is a true story. It happened in Alabama. I didn't know people in Alabama knew about Buddha. But anyway, the guy said to her, look, Buddha fell off the shelf and broke. Can Buddha help itself? She said, no. And she became Muslim. Did I read this verse? O mankind, a similitude is being coined, so listen to it carefully. Verily those on whom you call besides Allah cannot create even a fly, even though they combine together for the purpose. If all the prophets, 125,000, came together, can they produce a fly, folks? And if the fly snatches away a thing from them, they will have no power to release it. So if the fly comes down and grabs a crumb, you don't have the power to go find that. Most people can't catch a fly. Only one can is Karate Kid. Remember when he caught the fly with the chopsticks? Can anybody in this class do that?
Yeah.
No. And if the fly snatches away a thing from them, they will have no power to release it from the fly. So weak are both the seeker and the sought. What a powerful verse, folks. I'm going to shut it down now. It's 10 minutes. Well, actually, the prayer only comes in at 1:30, so I don't have to stop. 1:45, sorry, so I don't have to stop. You guys ready for me to keep going a little bit?
Yes.
In Surah 29, verse 41, the likeness of those who take false deities as awliya, protectors and helpers. Remember when I covered the meaning of this word before, awliya? Do you remember? We talked about it out of context when it said don't take the disbelievers as your awliya. This is what it means. Your intimate friends and protectors. Other than Allah is the likeness of a spider who builds for itself a house. But verily the frailest, the weakest of houses is the spider's house, if they but knew. In Surah 14, verse 24 to 27. See you not how Allah sets forth a parable, a goodly word, as a goodly tree, whose root is firmly fixed, and its branches reach to the sky that is very high, giving its fruit at all times by the leave of its Lord. And Allah set forth parables for mankind in order that they may remember. All of these beautiful parables, folks, are why? Or for what reason? That we may remember. That we may become God conscious. That we may become God conscious. That we may become mutakis. That we may be the people that possess taqwa. That we may be the livers of taqwa. See, when you put mu on front of it, it means the doer. So it means that you manifest taqwa in this world. Not that you talk about it. It's not a concept. It's just something that you do. Taqwa is something that you manifest, folks. That's why we have the mutaqin. Those people who do taqwa. Those people that are living manifestation of the internal reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's light of life. And the parable of an evil word is that of an evil tree, uprooted from the surface of earth, having no stability. Allah will keep firm those who believe with the word that stands firm in life of this world. That is, they will keep on worshiping Allah alone and nothing else. And in the hereafter, and Allah will cause the zalimeen, the polytheists and wrongdoers, to go astray. And Allah does what He wills. Surah 16 and verse 75. Allah puts forward the example of two men, a believer and a disbeliever. A servant under the possession of another. He has no power of any any sort. Surah 16 and 76, and Allah puts forward another example of two men. One of them dumb and has no power over anything, and he is a burden on his master. Whichever way he directs him, he brings no good. Is such a man equal to one who commands justice? You see, a lot of us have, all of us, our master is Allah. But if we serve other masters, then what good are we to the owner? The analogy is like a slave owner that has a slave, and the slave goes to the field and sells the crops and gives the money to another master. That's our life, folks. Are we giving our life for the sake of Allah? He sets forth for you a parable from your own selves. Do you have partners among those whom your right hand possesses, that is, your servants, to share as equals in the wealth we have bestowed on you? You see, people that have servants, if they share their wealth, but you see, we share the wealth of Allah. We will live in paradise, a place where rivers will run in the trees, a place that we will have eternal bliss for the price of maybe 70, 80 years. What's the average lifespan now?
75.
75. We live 75 years for a time where we'll have no filth. None whatsoever. Mujahid commented on Allah's statement, verily Allah is not ashamed to set forth the parable even of a mosquito, or so much more, but it is bigger than it. The believers believe in these parables, whether they involve large matters or small, because they know that they are the truth, the haqq from their Lord. And Allah guides the believers by these parables. You see, when your iman is strong, when your faith has been developed, a mosquito or a gnat does not become insignificant to you. Because you're able to see the lesson in it. You're able to see the beauty in it. The servant of Allah sees the beauty in all of Allah's creation. Whether it's a gnat, a mosquito, or a fly. And think about this, folks, because every time a fly pitches, what does it do? It vomits. Every time a fly lands on you, it vomits on you. Did you know that? But you as a believer get to see the beauty in that. Allahu Akbar, the fly just vomited on me. Yeah, that's powerful. Flies don't live long, folks. Yeah.
So how is that beneficial to us? I'm sorry, brother. Well, a vomit. Like.
Look at the parable of that, Mason. Here's this tiny fly that you don't even think about. You never thought about. How old are you?
44.
You're 44 and you never thought about the fly vomiting on you to the day. Doesn't that shake your brain a little bit? Got a little response out of you, didn't it? That's what the Word of Allah does to people. It gives you an analogy that at 44 years of age, for the first time, you say, my God, I can't even imagine that. That's gross.
That's right, I'll be 45.
But it gets your attention, you see. See, nothing is gross in the eyes of Allah because it gets our attention. If we as parents could get the attention of our children with simple parables, it'd be amazing. In his Tafseer Surah reported that Ibn Abbas, Ibn Masud, and other people among the companions said, by it he misleads many. What did that mean when it said that? Meaning the hypocrites. Allah guides the believers with these parables, and the straying of the hypocrites increases when they reject the parable that Allah mentioned for them, which they know are true. This is how Allah misleads them. You see, folks, look at this. Listen to this. This is powerful. The straying of the hypocrite increases when they reject the parables of Allah, and the straying of the believer increases when they reject the truth of Allah. You see, when you say, I know the Quran says so and so, but you're putting yourself in a dangerous and precarious position, because that is doubt, that is rage, and that is disbelief. See, when our iman is strong, when our commitment to that covenant that we made when we were souls is there, we never doubt. We hear and we obey. Whatever Allah says, we say, yes, you are my master, and we do it. That's the sign of real iman. We know that iman is different for every single human, because the Prophet ﷺ said a Muslim is one in whom you are safe from his tongue and hand. But a mu'min is one in whom you can entrust your life and property. So there are different levels of faith, folks. Now let me ask you something. I don't want anybody to answer. But I just want you to ask yourself the question, every single person in here, is everyone in this room safe from my tongue and my hand? Can I guarantee that nobody in this room is ever going to say anything about me that would displease Allah or hurt me in any way? Because that's what a Muslim is. I didn't get to the movement yet. Can I guarantee that these hands of every single person in this room will never be used to do anything that would be destructive to me? That's just a Muslim. And in the movement, I can entrust you with my whole life story. I can tell you about all my secrets. And you're never going to tell another soul in here. You're never going to go and tell somebody else in the community. And then I can leave my property. And I can go to Qatar. And I can study Arabic for 6 months. And when I come back, it will be in better shape than when I left it. That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And we're not talking about gnats and mosquitoes now. We're talking about the difference between a Muslim and a Mutaqi. May Allah help us to attain this level of iman. May Allah help us to inherit this eternal bliss. And for our homes to be in that paradise that is beyond the dimension of our understanding. May Allah take us home today in safety and bring us back as a family next week. I love you all for the sake of Allah. If I've said anything that was incorrect today, it's from my ego and my own arrogance. Please forgive me. If I've said anything right today, all the glory and all the praises due to Allah. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.